Okay, now we are done with the DP connection. So next I'm gonna look at what are we going to do with these three packages: model, controller, service. So I'm starting with this model. So here this model class, so in MVC architecture, this model class this is used to mirror a database table in our database. So for actually it's in model we normally represent the entities that we have used in our database. So here I am going to represent the student entity in my database, that is the student table with ID, name, campus attributes. So I am going to create a class here. That is called model class. The model class that we are going to create now is student. So right click on it, go to new and select class, give it a name, okay, student. Now define its attributes. So the student has ID, name and campus details. So the ID is I have set it as integer in this table, so here also making it as integer. Next one is the name, and at last campus. Okay, now let's generate the getters and setters for these attributes. Right click on this class and select source, and there you can see generate setters and getters. Select all three attributes and generate. Okay, so that's it. We are done with this model class implementation. There is another entity in our database too, that is module, but I am not manipulating the module details with the application. I am already said I am manually inserting through the database script by inserting the values here. So we have only student class here for model. Okay, then the next one is service. Here this service package is very crucial part. Here is where we are going to implement few methods to perform the CRUD functions. So those methods will be called in this controller. So controller package will consist of the servlets. So those servlets will use these methods that we implement in this service package to perform the CRUD functions. So here I am going to create two things, interface and another class that implement this interface. So here I am naming and creating an interface and naming it as iStudent. Thereafter I am going to create a class and name it as student implementation. Okay, then this will implements the iStudent interface. This iStudent interface, here it will consist of all the methods uh, that we are going to use to handle the DB functions, the CRUD function of the student entity. So those functions with name, its parameters will be mentioned here, and once we implement it in this class, we have to define, that means we have to implement those functions here. Next I'm going to declare 3 attributes that you are going to use in this inside this class. So there, one is so I am making them as private static unique connection object, because using this only you are going to retrieve the DB connection through the class I have implemented here in this util package. The other two you may have learned in the previous semester, the callable statement and prepared statement, and I hope you know the difference between them. Callable statement. And the other one is prepared statement. Okay, so using callable statement you can access the database procedures, functions, those things, and using this prepared statement you can handle the general CRUD function like insert, update, delete, those things. So okay, then that's it with these attributes of this student implementation class. So next so we can start the first CRUD function. So let's start with add student, the insertion of student details into the student table